The Worldly Philosophers by Robert L. Heilbroner. This is the book about economic philosophical thinking, covering the theories of Adam Smith, Karl Marx, John Stuart Mill, John Maynard Keynes, David Ricardo, and Thomas Malthus. This book has got the 7th edition. The following factors were responsible for the economic revolution, which ushered in the market system. The Renaissance period 1350 to 1600, when the weakening of restrictive religion produced a more skeptical, inquiring attitude. Number 2, scientific revolution 1500 to 1700, the discovery of scientific principles which laid the foundation for the industrial revolution. Number 3, emergence of nation states 15th to 17th century, a process that gave rise to royal patronage for favored industries. Number 4, the age of exploration and discovery 15th to 17th century, an era which saw the rise of wealth in gold, silver and raw resources. The Protestant Reformation 1500 to 1648, an era which encouraged enterprise, the investment of capital. Without the profit motive, there would be no capitalism or market system. Adam Smith 1723 to 1790, a quiet, nervous, scholarly Scottish bachelor, taught first at Oxford University and then at the University of Glasgow. He gained fame as a moral philosopher, and during his lifetime, his book, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, earned the critics' appraisal as his best work. While traveling, Adam Smith worked on his Wealth of Nation and completed the book in 1776. Adam Smith believes in two laws. The first law of the market is self-interest or the profit motive. The second law of the market is competition. Adam Smith's vision of the world demonstrated glowing optimism. David Ricardo and Thomas Malthus, while accepting the principles which Smith laid down, differed sharply from him in their pessimistic view. To Adam Smith, society appeared balanced and harmonious, but to Ricardo, society was a bitterly competitive contest. He viewed the worker as little more than an automation, whose only human expression was an indulgence in sex. Ricardo viewed that instead of raising the family standard of living when wage rose, the worker produced more children and thereby increased the labor supply, offsetting the tendency for wages to rise as the supply met and exceeded the demand for worker. Thus, the worker was doomed to gain no more than a subsistence level of wages. As for capitalists, Ricardo saw them as eternally seeking profits but engaged all the while in fierce competition with other capitalists. This situation naturally reduced profit. Malthus' thesis was population grows at a rate greater than the means to feed it, and if unchecked, the world's population will double every 25 years. Children of 10 years and younger labored in such industrial centers as Manchester and Birmingham, in poorly ventilated buildings that lacked basic sanitary and safety measures. It was not unusual for children to be whipped, not only for slight mistakes, but to stimulate efficiency. A 16-hour working day was common, from 6 in the morning to 10 at night. Robert Owen, known as the founder of British socialism, first used the word socialist and communist. In 1848, the threat of revolution was everywhere. Karl Marx was born in Germany, the second son of a liberal, middle-class Jewish family, pursued a college education. Wherever Karl Marx went, did quarrelsome and intolerant activities, organized worker movement, and edited communist papers. Eventually, he fled to England to spend the remainder of his life in London. Karl Marx endured not only poverty but also disappointment. The history of humanity, according to Karl Marx, is primarily the story of one class exploitation of another. Karl Marx concludes that labor actually produces more for the capitalist, by working extra hours. Karl Marx predicted trends which capitalism would follow. Surprisingly, most of them have come true. Number 1. As the economy expands, profit fall both from the within business cycle and outside it. Number 2. As profit falls, business seeks new survival techniques by innovating, inventing. Number 3. Business runs in cycle of depression and boom. Number 4. Huge firms dominate the business scene and suppress small firms. Number 5. The working class overcome factory owners and capitalism disappears. In the US, socialism has been avoided largely as the result of support of competition through government antitrust legislation. John Maynard Keynes concluded that depression arises from a decline of investment on one side and an increased accumulation of savings on the other. However, depression is only temporary, for an abundant supply of saving reduces interest rate, leading to a higher rate of return to be gained from investment. Thus, prosperity returns. Keynes provided a cure for depression. Government needs to prime the pump by deliberately undertaking heavy government investment to stimulate the economy. Unlike Karl Marx in the previous century, John Maynard Keynes looked forward to better time for capitalism in the 21st century.